Shakeup. 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 I'm very confused of a lot of things I've seen on this whole shakeup thing in the past 2 days now, because this is part 2 of the SuperStar shakeup. And what can I really say from this, huh? What can I really say from this? Because yes, we know about a lot of the ridiculousness we saw on Monday Night Raw yesterday with the, I'm sure everyone knows, the Viking Experience. Who fuck came up with that name is retarded. But Smackdown tonight, looking at more of the shakeup changes. What can I say about some of these people? We're going to go through them, and I think I may go through the entire list because there were more people added to the show tonight on SmackDown that was not televised. Even on Monday Night Raw last night, they kind of said the people today of who was going to be on SmackDown. I don't know why they just didn't do that on TV if the people that all competed last night were pretty much now officially on Monday Night Raw. Why, I don't know why they just didn't say, hey, they're on Raw, they competed. Why didn't you just say that? What is the point of announcing them today? But I will go over that soon. And could any of these people be going somewhere? Because to what I've read today in this shakeup, I just don't know what to say about this show sometime. I really don't. You know, one thing I will address right now is, I do want to say this real quick about the news today about Luke Harper wanting his release from WWE. Let me say this right here. I like Luke Harper, and I'm like everybody else, and I said this about 2 years ago. Luke Harper was on his way to becoming to be the WWE champion. He was a big player at the time, especially around WrestleMania 33 about 2 years ago in 2017, because this guy was putting on great matches with Orton, AJ Styles. Almost could have been a triple threat match at WrestleMania, in my opinion, between Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Luke Harper. But for some reason, I remember this. They said Vince didn't want Luke Harper near the WWE Championship. He didn't want him near it, which I think the guy is just a great worker in general. In my opinion, was the best one out of the entire Wyatt family who deserved so much more. I will say that. I just feel like after that whole resurgence, I shouldn't say resurgence, but I would say a big push, and he had hella momentum in 2017. What did they do? They throw him back into a tag team with Eric Rowan. Since Eric Rowan is a lost cause on his own, we have to throw him back with Harper. And they became that whole Bludgeon Brothers team, which really didn't go that long. And, you know, like I said, I've seen Luke Harper do a lot of things where the guy gets some momentum, but then again, they just kind of end up killing it for him. So it's always been problems with that. And I know he spoke on, he said something not that long ago before WrestleMania, kind of talking about all his accomplishments and how he has been cleared since February. And I know they say he went against Donovan Dijak over WrestleMania weekend at Access. I do need to see that match. Somebody told me it was a great match though between him and Dijak. But now he has requested his release. And I think with some of these people that have been wanting to leave the company lately, it's like some say, it's more than about money. I just think it's about some with self-respect, and they really want to get their career somewhere. And do I blame Luke Harper for leaving? Not really. I really don't, okay? And I know people talk about, you know, folks like Sasha and others that want to leave the company and everything, which, you know, if you've been screwed this many times, it's almost to the point, why are you still there? And I think with Luke Harper leaving, like I said, I think it came more about his career than it was about money. And I just think he wanted, like, if you read his statement, he wanted to grow more as a performer and everything. This guy is an easy get, you know, if they grant his release, which I'm sure most likely will happen. I've been seeing a lot of thank you Harper tweets all day, which will most likely go back to being Brody Lee on the, you know, on the indies and everything. So I'm sure that's going to happen for him. But it is a shame, you know, they have to leave under these circumstances. But let's be honest, they weren't doing nothing with him. Creative wasn't going to do enough, and I think he just knew that there was going to be no plans in his future. So I guess this was the time to leave. And anybody could pick him up from the indies, okay? Whether it be AEW whether it be Impact, whether it be Ring of Honor, whether it be New Japan Pro Wrestling, or whatever other promotion is out there right now. I'm sure he'd be a great fit in, and he would put on some fantastic matches because the guy is that great. But I just think he sees his future is not really going anywhere in WWE right now. They're not doing nothing. What are we doing? Come on. The last time I saw this guy was probably a week ago about, WrestleMania? And that idiotic battle royale for the Andre thing and got kicked out by Strowman. So, what do you want me to say? Like I said, anybody, he'd be a great gift for anybody, okay? So, it does suck that WWE didn't do nothing with him. I know somebody told me earlier, well, maybe he'll be part of the Shakeup tonight. And I said, I highly doubt it. Seriously doubt it. And look what happened now. You didn't really see him or if he was going to be on here or not. So, like I said, if his request is not, his release is granted, I'm sure he's going to do great way somewhere else. Okay, I really do, because I believe the guy's like 38, 39 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So he just wants something bigger for his career. So I don't really blame Luke Harper. I don't. So we'll see what the future holds for him. But moving into SmackDown right now. We kicked it off with the Kevin Owens show. Montreal, Quebec, who had a humongous pop when he came out there as the crowd were cheering for Owens. He then pretty much welcomed everyone in French. He said some more things in French. I can't understand what he was saying. But, he said some with WrestleMania. Some people say because he was pissed with being let off, being let off of WrestleMania, not being on there this year. So when he was speaking in, French, he went back to speaking English then. Which, he said there's many surprises in store for the SuperStar Shakeup. And Vince is going to announce his biggest acquisition to SmackDown. Oh, we're going to get into that. In SmackDown history. And he said that the biggest star on SmackDown is already here. Which the crowd went nuts for. But now we need to bring out the guest. A person that deserves this respect and this reaction. Which is Kofi Kingston, the WWE Champion. He came out with Xavier Woods. Big E is injured right now. But as Kofi came out, people were chanting, Kofi, 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 like the old late chants, which was pretty cool. And Owen said, with Kofi Day WrestleMania, nobody's ever going to forget that. And, he said that, you won the WWE Championship. You beat the odds and everything. And he wanted to congratulate him himself. Kofi then got on the microphone pretty much saying, he had done something special at WrestleMania, and he was glad to celebrate with his family, his brothers, and the fans. And, he's pretty much, I forgot what he said in French, but the crowd went nuts for it. And as he sat down, they pretty much talked about Big E's injury. And, Woods said, he was injured last week, and, it's going to kind of hurt the Up, Up, Down, Down crew on his YouTube show. And he wanted Tyler Breeze on SmackDown tonight. Woods really wants Tyler Breeze on SmackDown. If you look it up, down, down on the YouTube show. It's really funny if you check Tyler Breeze out on there. But Owens pretty much says, you got a tag match later on with Nakamura and Rusev, which they were watching and the monitors in the back. Big E is out, so why don't I join, huh? Instead of the, and we talk about it's going to be the Big K. He says, no, the Big O. When I hear the Big O, I swear that was like from an anime at one point. No, it was on Adult Swim, I remember. I think it was called the Big O. So is Kevin Owens like a giant robot now? Go look it up. Go look up that show back on Adult Swim back then, or on Toonami. The Big O. I remember they had a great theme song to that anime. It was really good. But that's all I can think when he says the Big O. And they say if you want to be an honorary member of the New Day, which you got to put on the T-shirt, and it says, and can you swivel your hips and everything? And they thought he couldn't do it, but he did. Woods asking due to his recent injury, but he says I could swivel my hips, which he pretty much did. And the pancakes and the cereal, they gave him the shirt, and he even put on the headband unicorn thing, which I actually thought that was pretty funny. Okay, and I'm sure people were already thinking right now he's gonna turn on Kofi at the end of the night. He's gonna turn on them so he can go after the WWE title, but it did not happen. So we'll get into that later on. But as he celebrated with them, Cesaro came in to I guess he was going to help Nakamura and Rusev go against the New Day and Kevin Owens tonight. I don't know where Sheamus is right now, but they're sending in Cesaro for this 6-man tag. Seen a lot of multi tags in the past 2 nights now. But the Big O instead of Big E, which is it's pretty funny. Still, it's funny if you ask me. So there you go. But we'll see what that happens. Next thing you know, a person that was now picked up on SmackDown from Monday Night Raw, who comes out next? Finn Balor. Yeah, he took a loss to Almas last night. Like I said last night before, why is the Intercontinental Champion taking L's already after 1 week? Especially now that he lost to someone, which he, did, it was to get Almas over and, taking as a serious competitor, but, what was the point of him now losing and then just going off to SmackDown, which I assume now with him being on SmackDown right now, I'm assuming Samoa Joe is going to Raw because we cannot have 2 secondary titles on one show. So if the Intercontinental Championship is going to be on SmackDown, you might as well put the U.S. title on Monday Night Raw with Joe. So there you go from that. Like I said, I will say one thing about Finn Balor on SmackDown. It's been a long time coming. So, I've been wanting him on SmackDown since last year. I say the guy's been wearing a lot of blue lately. So, I think the writing was on the wall. But then again, I said that last year. I remember when Finn Balor was wearing a lot of blue last year and he had his blue jacket. I called him like he's got so many jackets. He's like Lupin the Third out there, which I will say this right now. Rest in peace to Lupin the Third's creator, Monkey Punch. Unfortunately died at age 81. I believe it was because of pneumonia. I will say I still enjoy that show to this day, and it's a shame what happened. But like I said, Lupin the Third lives on, and I know the show's still going. I think they got another version of Part 5 of Lupin the Third, if I'm not mistaken. So, I don't know about the manga that much, but I sure as hell has watched the anime for a good minute now, and I'm still a fan of the show to this day. So, rest in peace to Monkey Punch. I just kind of wanted to put that out there. Next, Finn Balor, like I said, him being out here on SmackDown now, went against Mustafa Ali, which was a pretty good match for what they had out there. I will say, Ali sold the hell out of that shotgun drop kick that he almost looked like he could have got shot by a shotgun. Because after he hit he dodged the 450, hit the shotgun drop kick, hit the coup de grace for the win. They pretty much shook hands after that. So, like I said, Balor and Ali, pretty good match. I'll give him that. It was pretty good. So, there you go. I did enjoy that. Next thing you know, Kofi and Woods were talking to the Big O now for his initiation in the New Day, where he had to eat an entire plate of pancakes. Faster than Big E. How are you able to eat that many pancakes and still wrestle in the same night? I don't know. So as he was eating pancakes, they pretty much went to the next thing after that, or commercial, okay? Which I guess after the commercial, Owens was able to finish the pancakes, okay? He did finish the pancakes. How he did it, I don't know. But he was able to finish them. It looked like he was going to throw up, but then again, first off, I can't eat that many pancakes. What was 100 pancakes, probably 50? Number one, where's the syrup? 2, where's the butter? If I'm going to eat pancakes, you need to provide me with the tools to eat pancakes with a knife and a fork instead of my hands. And I'm going to need a lot of syrup for that, okay? Some syrup for those pancakes. Next thing you know, Charlotte, which I kind of thought was going to be going to Monday Night Raw, but went against Carmella, which I forget that trophy still exists, so it's still a thing. Charlotte, who was pretty much healing on the crowd, saying she hates Canada and everything, making fun of them. What do I have to say about this match, huh? Number one, Charlotte, I think they kind of came from a commercial, is doing the Ric Flair taunt. Charlotte won, so I'm not really surprised that it's Charlotte. Yeah, she just lost to Mania, but it looks like she's moved on from Becky, I guess. Carmella loses to the figure 8. Next thing you know, Lars Sullivan comes out then as Truth is checking on her. Truth had pretty much got couple shots in on Sullivan, but Sullivan pretty much caught him, and he hit the freak accident on Yeah, he hit the freak accident on Truth, and then he hit him with a running sit-down power bomb as Carmelo looked on. I'm sure a lot of people wanted him to attack Carmelo, but you know that was not going to happen. First off, let me say this about Lars Sullivan. Number one, I think I said this last night. I called him Schnitzky 2.0. He reminds me of Gene Schnitzky, okay? First off, this guy had no reaction coming out there. The only reaction, which maybe he is getting some heat now, was when they chanted asshole at him near the end of it. I will say that. But why is he on both shows? And I know I'm not tripping. Number one, they said last night he was officially part of Monday Night Raw. Tonight, he's now officially part of Smackdown. So is he on both shows now? This makes no sense. How you gonna say he officially on Raw, and then the next night you're gonna say he's officially on SmackDown? I don't understand that. That's dumb. So what show is it? Is he on Raw? Is he on SmackDown? I don't understand this whole thing. It makes no sense. So there you go. It's fucking retarded. Okay, I don't get that. Why are you gonna say he's on SmackDown if you just said last night he's on Raw? Becky Lynch came out next. Moving on, she pretty much got a big reaction talking about what happened last night, and there's challengers all around, looking to take her titles away from her. But it doesn't matter which show it is. She's gonna take them, take them out, start smacking some heads off. So there you go. Next thing you know, from Monday Night Raw, Ember Moon comes out then, wanting a shot at Becky since she's now on SmackDown. She wants, a title shot, even though Becky said, "Do not interrupt the man." But I guess the Shinam War Goddess, or you finally use War with Ember Moon, I guess. But hey, we can't use War Machine or War Raiders, eh? She wants a title shot from her. Because she is the person that beat Ronda Rousey. So there you go. But before Becky said anything else, Bayley comes out, who got booed then. I was surprised to see that. They didn't really boo at Bayley last night. And I know some people thinking people booing at Bayley due to what? Guilty association because of Sasha right now, which we don't know if she will be back in that. So maybe some people say they booing them because of her. It's see that they booing at Bayley for some reason. Maybe they just don't like her, I guess, in Montreal. I didn't really see that last night, but tonight they booed Bayley almost near out the building, which, in all honesty, they have buried Bayley for so long on Monday Night Raw is that people just don't even really care about her no more at this point. And as Bayley tried to talk about her, yes, she was tag team with Sasha, but now she's a singles competitor again, and she has her eyes on the prize and those two belts right there. And before Becky even said anything next, the Iconics come out talking about we got two belts now. And, she's talking about Becky, Ember Moon, and, Ember and Bayley, that they have 0 belts. And pretty much told Becky that their belts were better and they are iconic. Paige comes out then to announce her new team, which, I guess Absolution thought it was going to be them. But, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, but Paige says no, it's not y'all. And this is where I'm a little confused at this point right here. When I heard Asuka, I'm like, okay, so Asuka's listening to Paige now. Why? To form this new team, and then they bring out Kairi Sane. Okay, now in my first mind, I'm sure a lot of people thought was this. The Sky Pirates are going to come out there. Kairi Sane, Io Shirai. That's in my mind, I'm thinking. And I'm like, okay, there's no really any other tag teams we got on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, since either half of these teams are either broken up or injured. Okay, let's bring in the Sky Pirates. But we going to bring Kairi Sane in and put Asuka there. Now, I feel like they're just putting Asuka in a back seat right now because they need something to do with her. Since they don't want to put her near the main titles right now, they'll have her go for the tag titles, okay? Now, this can be a good team. They probably just have Paige talk because, Paige can't really do nothing else other than just talk anyways. I'm sure some people thinking right now just as a way because Asuka and, Kairi are not that great on the mic, which I think Kairi's better if you see her on NXT. Asuka's always never been, some people say because of the language barrier and stuff, so that's why they have Paige talking for both of them. I'm not saying this can be a bad team, but why didn't you just bring in the Sky Pirates, though? That's what I'm really questioning. Unless NXT just has other plans for Io Shirai right now, that must be the thing. That's all I'm going to assume from this point, because I'm like, they didn't bring the Sky Pirates up. Okay. Like I said, there was just a lot of people talking through this, and when they pretty much gained 3 new women, which I'd say from Raw, what did they really gain last night from Monday Night Raw? That's part of their roster. Naomi, that's the only person I can think of, and I could say the other 2 people who are the other 2 people that they bring in for Raw? Lacey Evans, which was already popping on both shows anyways, and who the fuck else they didn't know? Zelina Vega, but she's just pretty much a manager, so I can't say much about that. So they, like I said, at least SmackDown gained some new women. Bayley, who desperately needed a change of scenery. Hopefully something goes good for her, but the crowd does not seem to give a crap about her. But Bayley needed to move off this show to make it somewhere. Ember Moon, they did nothing with Ember Moon on Raw, okay? Even that was before she got hurt. What was she doing facing the Riot Squad almost every week? So Ember Moon was never really doing nothing on Raw. Pretty much turns into an 8-women tag match, something you probably could have saw at a house show maybe. The Insane Elbow people did pop for. I will say every time Bayley got in the ring, people booted Bayley several times. But Kairi Sane hit the Insane Elbow. Once again, we are pinning the champions clean here, folks. The champions take an L in under 2 minutes last night. The champions take an L again. Peyton Royce and another pin from the Insane Elbow. So there you go. That's the 8-woman tag. They then went to the Hardys, talking about they're the greatest tag team of all space and time. Who do they have to face? Usos are gone. What tag teams do they have on here? Sanity is dead, okay? Eric Young is on Raw. Alexander Wolf, to what I've read now, not that long ago, I guess he may be gone from the company too, it looks like. If you go look at his Twitter and of him saying goodbye to WWE. So I think he may be gone. Because personally, I'll say this. If they were saying he was already dead, but if you're putting Eric Young on Raw, what was Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf going to do, okay? Wolf, to be honest, I think he was kind of weak link out of the group. I don't hate the guy or anything, but in all honesty, I feel like he was not going to be anywhere without this group and needed it. And they killed this group. They didn't have Nikki Cross associate with them anymore. Killian Dane, I'm sure they see something in him still, so that could be a thing, maybe, with him. But Wolf, I don't know what I would have saw what they could have done with him, to be honest, since they killed Sanity already. So I have no idea what was going to happen. So like I said, Eric Young's on Raw. Killian Dane, I don't know what to expect next. Wolf, I believe he's on his way out the door, just to what I've read. So Sanity, they just murdered that group so bad. They never had a chance on the main roster. They really didn't. They were dead on arrival after 2 weeks. So I don't know who the fuck the Hardys will face next. Kevin Owens was back in the New Day doing the whole big greet thing, like, Big E does. As they pretty much did. He did Big E's whole thing, the Big O, because he said the tag team champions, your WWE champion, and the Big O. Okay, so I thought that was pretty funny. Also, they announced that Buddy Murphy will be coming to SmackDown. I have no problem in that. Like I said, Cedric and Buddy Murphy need to be brought up. I'm sure Buddy's going to do really good on SmackDown. Cedric, like I said, I'm glad Cedric's being brought up. I don't know what to say about him on Monday Night Raw. All I can say is good luck to you on Monday Night Raw, because you're going to need it, okay? But I'm just glad both of these two are out from 205 Live. They're too good for it, and they've done everything they've done over there in 205 Live, and it was time to get out of that purgatory. So, there you go. Pretty much the New Day and the Big O went against Nakamura, Rusev, and Cesaro, which was a lot of Kevin Owens chants, overrated chants, which somebody told me on Twitter that was directed at Nakamura, people chanting overrated. It wasn't a bad tag match, I will say. A lot of crazy spots here and there. Kofi hitting the Trouble in Paradise, and then Kevin Owens with the Stone Cold Stunner. Owens pretty much hit the 3 count after that. New Day and Owens win. So a good tag match. I'm sure people were actually waiting for him to turn on Kofi right there, but I guess we'll just have to wait on that. I know people said Big E had a picture on Twitter of him in the hospital with his pretty much like a smug face or something looking at this. I know people are already saying is Biggie gonna turn on the New Day when he comes back. I think in the next month because of the whole torn meniscus thing. I don't know. People expect him to turn on him in Mania, but I didn't really see that happening. Could he turn on him when he come back? Maybe. I'm not really sure. Oh, Kevin Owens gonna do it sooner or later. Not just yet though. Not just yet. But it was funny, and I will admit the Big O thing is kind of funny though. Of course, they did the Sister Abigail thing or whatever. Vince McMahon comes out then. I think it was Sister Abigail, whatever Bray Wyatt promo was. Vince McMahon comes out. Of course, the people that get mad at him in Montreal, what do? They bow down and still sing his theme song. They hate Vince, but they still bow down and sing to him. Which, Vince comes out, is here to be back in Montreal, which the fans immediately chant, "You screwed Brett, you screwed Brett." They will never forgive them of the Montreal screw job, okay? And Vince is kind of mocking out there, saying, "It's nice to see back in Montreal, you screwed Brett." And as Vince, saying he's probably just seal approval on the next big superstar, the future of SmackDown, and the future of the WWE, I'm sure people are already thinking, could have been Brock Lesnar. That's a very slight chance. Drew McIntyre, think it's not 2009 again, folks, okay? It would have worked again, okay? Vince endorsed Drew McIntyre a long time ago when Drew pretty much came into the company. He was dubbed as the Chosen One, and that didn't really go out that long. So I didn't really think it was going to be Drew. Who else was there? There's some people. There was going to be a lot of people, which we'll get to that in a second, but pretty much the biggest accusation he was about to say was Elias. Elias got a lot of boos. They chanted something to him in French. And he said these people don't understand. He was going to do performance then. But next thing you know, Roman Reigns comes out, which he is immediately booed, and they have to mute the sound. Reigns comes out. He pretty much punches Elias then, hits him with a Superman punch. Vince starts pointing to beat up Elias, saying, like, "You're not supposed to be out here." They have a stare down, Vince and Roman Superman punches Vince, and he pretty much says, "I don't care what you got to say. SmackDown is my yard now." Which, before he can even walk up the ramp, he came back and speared Elias in the ring, and there you go. That's the end of the show. Roman Reigns, folks. He will be the WWE champion soon enough. Do not be surprised. Do not. It's hilarious, though. Yes, he will be the champion again soon enough, Roman Reigns. Am I surprised he's on SmackDown? In some way, yes, but with AJ Styles being off of SmackDown, they need to bring in a top star. And I come on, this is most likely Vince's idea anyways, of him bringing in Roman on here, okay? The biggest acquisition of SmackDown history, so I would not be surprised if they push. Listen, they're already pushing this guy back to the moon already as it is. It's getting there. So he will be the champion again, no doubt about that. It's Roman. So with him being on SmackDown, one positive thing I can say, you will never have to hear Michael Cole say, "It's the big dog." The big dog. The big dog. So Roman is on SmackDown now. Do I feel like SmackDown may have gotten the short end of the stick on this? In a way. And I want to go over these people they brought in of this whole shakeup thing, since there was some more people added from this. First off, let's start off with Monday Night Raw, and I'm going to give my little quick opinion on this. AJ Styles, he's done everything he needed to do on SmackDown, okay? So I'm not really surprised he's on Monday Night Raw. The Miz, he switched to almost every show every year. One means on SmackDown, he's on Raw. Then back to SmackDown, back on Raw. Back on SmackDown, back on Raw. Every year they do this shake-up, the Miz is almost switched every time. Even somebody told me, maybe they just don't want Miz on this show. So he switched every time. There you go. Ricochet and Black, why didn't you just tell they were going to be on Raw last night and just say they were officially there, huh? I'm actually surprised they didn't even separate these two. But they want to keep them as a tag team, I see. So there you go. The Viking Experience, or War Raiders, which is we're still going about here, the War Raiders, and not this Universal Studios theme park ride, because they technically are Hanson and Rowe, but now they're Eric and Ivar now. I don't know what type of Game of Thrones thing is this going on, but it makes no sense, people. It does not. And these guys are still currently the NXT Tag Champions last time I checked also. But I don't know why. Why are they even brought up? I got no clue. Why are these two even need to be brought up right now? And people wanted Undisputed Era. People should be glad Undisputed Era didn't even show up. Their names probably be changed also, for all I know. Almas and Vega. Almas needed to change the scenery. He wasn't really doing that much on SmackDown other than facing Rey Mysterio several times, which was the only great matches he had. I'm sure he had I know he had some good other ones, but I feel like he was just a jobber to the stars at one point because he just took a lot of L's. Will he get a push on Raw? Most likely he beat the Intercontinental Champion, but the Intercontinental Champion's now on a different show. So hopefully something goes somewhere on him. Some people are already saying he's getting a push because of Charlotte, if you know what I mean. So go look that up if you want. Rey Mysterio, I don't even really think he needs to be on Raw. I don't know why. And having Sullivan kill him, I don't know what to really think from that also. Usos, they did everything on SmackDown. Several time tag team champions. They beat everybody. There you go. I don't know what other tag teams they got on Raw to face, but I don't know. Naomi, I knew she was going just because the Usos. Hopefully something good happens for her. EC3, dead. And after what happened last night, who really cares, okay? I'm like other people now. I'm kind of waiting for this guy to leave because people been telling me expect him to be gone soon. And you know what? I'm starting to believe that now because they buried him last night, having him get killed out there. Lacey Evans was showing up on both shows anyways, but I guess make it official on Raw. Eric Young, they killed Sanity. You already know what I've had to say about with Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf. Cedric Alexander, you already know what I said about him. Glad he's here. Don't know about Monday Night Raw though. SmackDown, who we got here? Finn Balor, I've been saying that for a long time now. So Intercontinental Champion on SmackDown. I'm assuming US on Raw, which will happen. Lars Sullivan, I don't even know why I'm saying his name a second time. I just think it's retarded and hilarious. Why is he on both shows? Makes no sense. Snitsky 2.0. Ember Moon needed a change of scenery. They did nothing with her on Raw. Bayley desperately needed a change of scenery, but the fans have already started to turn on her and boo at her, but she needed to go too. Where does Sasha come in anymore from this? I have no idea until Sasha comes back or she doesn't come back. Kairi Sane, good, and hopefully it goes out good for her teaming with Asuka. I'm surprised they still didn't bring Io Shirai to perform the Sky Pirates, but I guess we'll see what comes from that. Buddy Murphy, he need to leave 205. I have no problem with that. Elias, if they stop doing the singing thing every week with him and maybe do something with Elias, maybe things will change. Right now, I don't know. Roman, he'll be back to the top of the mountain again before you know it, okay? They needed a bigger star, and I guess they said this is the biggest accusation in SmackDown history. Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy, folks. This is the freaking guy. So, he won't take the Universal from Seth, I guess. So I guess we'll try to take the belt from Kofi. So we'll see where that goes with our Roman. They're already booing him again. Liv Morgan, I don't even think Liv Morgan was that good in NXT. So I don't know what her on SmackDown's going to do unless they do something. Riot Squad were already dead. So rest in peace to the Riot Squad. Let's take someone else from a member of their group to some other show. Where does Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott? I don't know where they go. All I know is they job to everybody. And I don't know what Liv Morgan's going to do by herself. Chad Gable, there's potential in this since they took him away from Bobby Roode and having him stop dressed like him. So maybe Chad Gable goes somewhere. Chad Gable is great, but they just don't know what to do with him anyway. So if Bobby Roode's not brought over here, I'm assuming the tag team is over. And maybe he's a singles guy and he go heels on his own. And Chad Gable, maybe they can build something in this. Maybe. Apollo Crews, I hope something happens for him. Apollo Crews, I've said this before a few years ago. Apollo Crews was brought up too early, and she should have stayed in NXT for a little bit longer. He did not need to be a main early, because when he was on SmackDown, they didn't really have nothing for him, only real little. And then Raw made it almost 10 times worse. Hopefully they have something for Cruz, but I can't be really sure. Mickie James, I like Mickie James. I wish they do more with her often. I get tired. I know she's a veteran. She has to put over people, but I don't like when they have to make the veterans look like freaking jobbers out there or literally do nothing with them. What does Mickie James do? I don't know. So SmackDown's pick, it's a little iffy on SmackDown. Did Raw look like they took more of the bigger hand from this? In a way. Sullivan, I don't know what show he's part of, but apparently he's on both shows. So there you go. So I don't know, but I just want to give my little quick opinions of everyone in the shakeup who've been shaken up. Could it be more shakeups tomorrow? I don't think so, but if it is, we'll see what happens if there is another shakeup with these guys. But I don't know, man. SmackDown just, it's a little odd to who they brought in and who they haven't brought in. So we'll see what comes from this, but I'm not really sure. I will say I did enjoy the Big O tonight, though, with the New Day. The Big O was pretty good. The Shakeup is whatever you want to take it, I guess. So there you go. What else happened on this show? Something that was noteworthy. Yeah, Kevin Owens show. Finn. Like I said, Asuka and Kyrie. So I don't know. It's not much to say from this show other than that and the main event, the match, and Roman coming out. But like I said, you could take the shakeup of who do you think were these the best picks or who could have been picked or brought to a different show? Because I don't know what tag team Smackdown got. Unless the Revival shows up on Smackdown next week, I don't know what other tag teams they got. Nakamura, Rusev, whatever. I already talked about Sanity, dead. I don't know. I know you can say Epico and Primo or whatever because they're just the catering guys at this point. I don't even know if they really exist anymore. Who else? Who else? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know any other tag teams like that, I guess. Like I said, Ricochet and Black, but they're on Raw now at this point. So, I don't know, man. It's SmackDown's tag division. I don't know. It's looked like, okay, SmackDown got more women than Raw. Raw didn't really get anybody. So, I don't know. It's iffy on the shake-up switch. I have no clue what to really think from this. But some things just don't make sense from name changes and everything. So, SmackDown, I don't even know what to say about this show. I guess it was a good show to an extent to what I said, what I liked and didn't like. But, hey, those are your picks for the SuperStar shake-up. Where does this go on from here? I don't know, but we will see what happens, I guess. I'm out of here. It's me, the HLD, coming with the news reviews. I am, I do. It's going down. This is SmackDown. Tell me what you thought about this show tonight. Comment, subscribe, and I will be out of here. Peace out.